See the other garden, they're coming from under the sea. Oh, Mosorado River, or the two river at the entrance here to the sea. We see setting down the water will go behind it, but when the water dry, then you see the same. So that canoe now coming now.
All right, good afternoon, folks, and welcome to the US-based Focus on Liberia Online Television. My name is Theo Williams. Today we are beaming live and direct from the densely populated township of West Point. And of course, I'd love to say welcome, good afternoon from Monrovia, and welcome from just wherever you are joining us, whatever you're doing at the moment. The pleasure is mine to say good afternoon to you and welcome to this live broadcast. Today we are in West Point. West Point, as you all know, is a densely populated township. We've come to find out some things about West Point. We will join a son of West Point, someone who was born here, raised here, and went to school in this township, and who is also a resident of West Point, currently as we speak, will bring us up to speed with all of the historicity about this place, where I'm just right here at the mouth of the river that connects with the Atlantic Ocean. And so let me try to zoom in for you so that you can have a clear view of what I'm talking about. This is very wonderful, very, very wonderful. Over there you see there where the sea begins, and on the other hand here is where the river flows directly into the Atlantic Ocean. And you see a canoe there coming. Is that a Fanti canoe? Yes, it is. It's coming. It's entering the river now, leaving the sea. And so that's how it looks like here at the end of this place. We are at the bar mouth. It's called the bar mouth. And so very shortly, we'll be hearing from an individual who is a resident and a son of this township to bring us up to speed with some history about this place. We'll talk about the history of West Point. We'll talk about the local government structure here. We'll talk about the issue of sanitation. We'll talk about the way of life. We'll talk about security and other issues about West Point. And so from wherever you are joining us this afternoon, whatever you're doing at the moment, I'd love to say welcome. This is Focus on Liberia live from the densely populated township of West Point. My name is Theo Williams. And of course, welcome. Let's join Richie Asamoah Kia. This guy is now a stranger in this township. He was born here, like I told you earlier on. He was raised here, and he currently resides in this township. Richard is a son of this township. Richard Kia, welcome to the US-based Focus on Liberia Online Television. You're not a stranger, but let me welcome you officially.
Well, let me say thank you, Mr. Theo Williams, one of the funniest journalists in the Republic of Liberia. I think since you're moving to this particular online platform, it's my third time on this platform to provide information concerning the densely slum-populated township where I was born. I was born March 20, 1972 in the densely slum-populated township of West Point.
Okay, great.
And perhaps I could say to you, I refused on that fateful day, on that Saturday, March 20, 1972, to born at maternity center, and I was born right in a house in this particular township.
Wow.
And I've been living here. But what that made me move from this township, when my late father, Mr. Desi F. Kia, was given job, to work within the local government in Grand Crew, and how we migrated to Grand Crew, where I even went to school from elementary to senior high before moving back, to the township after the first war subsided, meaning after the 1997 election, of which when I was in the Côte d'Ivoire, specifically a Taboo region, where your operational manager of this particular institution was also living, seeking refuge, Taboo, La Côte d'Ivoire. And from there, since 98, I returned to my born home. And I've been here up to present.
Okay, great. Thank you very kindly, Richie Asamoah Care. Like you heard from Richie, folks, Richie is now a stranger to this place. He was born here, his neighbor screen is buried here, and so he knows exactly all about West Point.
So per history.
Yes, quickly, just bring us up to speed, Richie.
Yeah, per history.
Let me ask you first of all.
West Point.
Let me ask you, Richie, just hold on a little bit. Let me ask you first of all, how did the people of West Point settle here? Just give us a brief historicity about this township.
What I know of is, like, first of all, we had an area called Old Crew Town.
Okay.
And the Old Crew Town, there where you have people now residing, they call Rock Town.
All right.
There where our people were residing, mainly the Crew people.
Okay.
That's why the area was called Old Crew Town.
Old Crew Town.
And after 1944, when President Tubman decided to build the free port with the help of the American government, when they started breaking the rock from the Rock Town, area,
okay,
automatically some of the people that were living in that particular area, they started migrating, coming in this particular area called West Point.
Okay.
And by the history, it was one crew guy or crewman late by the name of Seth. And he said during that time, before forming the name West Point, and they normally used to go to Rasta's cinema, where they go to witness, show. And it was there on that day, that particular frame, that the witness was performed in West Point, the United States.
Okay.
So when he left from there, after witnessing the show, when he came down, from that day, he began to inform the young people, because he was one guy who majority of the young people used to walk behind. So he said, from today, anybody come in this area, this place is West Point.
Right.
So that's the name or the historicity of the name West Point I know of. This
So originally it was Crew Town, right?
Yeah, that was the Old Crew Town.
Old Crew Town.
So portion that we walk on, even from the beginning, as we're going to go through, and that our viewer will see that the West Point is look like a peninsula.
Okay.
Okay, this is how you can describe, the geographical look of the place. And when these guys started coming from Old Crew Town, and they started migrating here, and the area was looking like a water basin.
Okay.
So they started to dry the water, opening the water, going to the Dew River, as you focus in there, to the Dew River and the sea on our right. So all the area that we're standing today was a completely, the sea used to move. So it's so surprising to me, after 3 to 4 years now, that the water or the sea no more passing here.
Okay.
But normally there where the sea used to pass to enter the Dew River. So all this area that we walk almost for the past 10 to 15 minutes were all water here. Meaning the sea entering the Dew River.
Okay,
but
so
today,
the sea came from across there.
Thank you.
And flipping into the Dew River, the Masterwater River.
Yeah, indeed.
But now it's no longer happening. But Richard, how did that happen?
Well, 3 years ago, 3 to 4 years ago, I've been experiencing this thing. And up to now, that we have the large portion of land.
Okay.
Because all of this area that I'm talking about, that you see, you showing to the public, well, all the area they see used to enter this Dew River.
Richard, just hold on a bit, just hold on a few seconds. Folks, over there where you're looking currently is the Dew River or the Masterwater River. Over there is the Dew River. And where we are standing currently, we're just between the Dew River and that of the Atlantic. Let me flip my back to the Dew River, and where you are looking currently is the Atlantic Ocean. So this entire space, according to Richie, yeah,
entire landscape.
the field used to roll from where it is now, flipping in to the Do River. But now it's not happening. And Richard himself don't know how this happened. This place is dry. Where we're standing right now, as you can see, a lot of sand here. You're seeing all of these are all plastic bottles. These are dyed from the Atlantic Ocean. These are all
from the river to the Atlantic Ocean.
Okay, from the river
so from the Atlantic
into
Ocean,
the Atlantic Ocean.
On the,
yes.
Shore.
Okay. Well, so there you have it, folks. We moving. You're watching the US-based Focus on Liberia online television with me, Theo Williams. We live from the densely populated township of West Point. Somebody will say this is key. And so Richard here is taking us on a tour. We are just moving across this place, and he's providing some history as we move along. Like I told you earlier on, folks, we will sometimes leave the hardcore political discussions and sometimes shift our concentration on some of these important things you need to know about our country. And so that's why we've come today to just do a tour of this beach and probably acquaint you with some of those things you need to know about West Point. Stay with us, share the video as much as you can, invite a friend to follow as we move along this historic township. Richard, you were in flight before I interjected. Go ahead.
Well, as I was saying, when the guy brought the name after witnessing the film, at Rasness Cinema on Broad Street, and when he came, he told himself from today, anybody coming here, the name of this area is West Point.
Okay.
This is how the name West Point came about.
Okay.
And normally, the people that started, living here, per history, used to go to President Tubman because they were requesting from President Tubman to issue a deed to the people of this area.
Okay.
So on 3 to 4 different occasions, President Tubman continued to postpone our parents during that time in the 50s to the 60s. And during 1960, where officially this area was pronounced by presidential proclamation as a township, was in 1960, when President Tubman, by presidential proclamation, pronounced, this place as a township. So West Point is been a township living on proclamation. It's not legislated like other township, like the township of Gagaro, that was legislated in 1999 when, the former president Charles Taylor was president. And that legislature of that, administration legislated into law having what you call the township of Gagaro.
Okay.
Moving from Var Town to Burma Bridge, where the overhead bridge stopped. There where you see the demarcation between the township of Gagaro and that of the borough of New Kuta.
Okay.
There where you see, the overhead bridge at the Burma Bridge area, and from there to the St. Paul Bridge is the borough of New Kuta.
Okay.
Along the Stratton Creek, meaning going to Kawa. So that's the demarcation. Unlike West Point, it's been living on presidential proclamation.
Okay, great, Richard. Let's talk about land ownership here, or squatting right. How is it here in the township?
Well, normally, everybody that live in this township live on a squatter right.
Okay.
Because the office of the commissioner is the only authority that issue any person who live in West Point a squatting right. Meaning, when they give you that squatter right, even on the squatter right, it's placed there, it's written there, that anytime the government of Liberia, when deem it necessary, we take this land. So we are all squatter. It's just recently when His Excellency Dr. Ambassador George Mane, the president took office, now he pronounced West Point to be an official area where they will issue the citizens of this area a deed.
Okay.
And he ordered the land authority to produce the official deed of the township of West Point. Because if the land authority produce the official deed, automatically the township now will give every person who is already on a squatting land a deed from that original deed that being declared by the president.
Okay, let's also talk about the housing condition here. I see most of the homes when we're coming here to the beach. I noticed serious congestion. I mean, they are all clustered.
Yeah, because this is squatting land. So, I mean, authority upon authority, meaning commissioner upon commissioner, they have the power to give squatter right. So, they give squatter right with no, I mean, difference in terms of feet or limit.
Okay.
So, that's why you see majority of the area, or in West Point, the entire township is clustered, meaning there's no yard in this area. So as we go along, you see the houses as the people will view, you will get to know.
Rachel, let's talk about some of the facilities you have here in terms of health, schools, I mean, and other recreational centers. Do we have some of them here?
No. The only thing we have here is one public school. The public school is a junior high school named the MV Massacre. So as we get on the road, you will see the MV Massacre. That's the only public school that is here in this township. Beside the public school, we have two private schools or several private schools. Like we have the John Kofi Asthma, I mean, controlled by the United Methodists. And we have the Star of the Sea, controlled by the Catholic, people, or the Catholic Church. So these are the schools. Beside those three major schools are named, we have a lot of schools by private owners, because we have more than 25 different private schools in this place, but they are owned by individuals.
Health facilities.
The health facilities,
how many of them do we have here?
Only a joint clinic, meaning when I say joint clinic, the Cali, that is an institution, a faith-based institution, and the government of Liberia, run that clinic. It's a partnership clinic, but it's totally controlled, or 80% controlled by the Cali or the Caliphate.
Okay, great. So I was asking about
the only health facility we have here.
I was also asking about recreational centers.
As you can look, there is no specific recreational area. We have where you see the Cali Clinic, then next to the Cali Clinic is the little football pitch that been in West Point, and then you have the MV Massacre School at the back. So these are the facilities we have, and the other recreational area that you will follow or you will see is on the beach. Where on the beach we normally practice, we play football, both kickball and football. So as you look along, there is the biggest recreational center where we come sometime during the dry season. Now we're in the rainy season ending next month. Then you see all of this area. You will see people come on the beaches, I mean, to have sun bath, both in the sea and in the Maserado River or in the Do River. So that's the history that we see today.
Rachel, let's talk about the way of living and the way of life in this densely populated township. I see several young people while we're coming. How are they living here? What's the way of life here, Richard?
Well, the source of income as to people living here, majority of the people that live here, they are fish mugger. I mean, they live on the sea. So majority of our brothers here, they live on fishing. So it's the fishing work that they live on. Even majority of our people that live in West Point is through the fishing. Either your mother, I mean, go on the beach, buy the fish, and go and sell it.
Retail.
I mean, retail. After buying it by bag or, by dozen from the fishermen, and then they go to sell it in the market. It's from there they earn a little profit, or how you can call, and they send their children to school. So the way of living or the source of income that majority of the people that live here is on the sea or from the sea.
Let's talk about some of the challenges the people of West Point are confronted with, Rachel Kier.
Well, if it comes to challenges, the first and foremost major challenge, or some of the challenges, have to do with the issue of sanitation.
Sanitation.
Because you saw as we were coming through how the homes are heavily congested.
Okay.
So the issue of majority of the home, they don't have latrine facility in the home. So as you see, when you look at the back or at your bike, you will see people squatting on the beach. I mean, using the beach to defecate.
Okay.
So we have, I mean, a serious sanitation challenges within this particular township since the inception.
Okay. Let's also talk about teenage pregnancy. It's something normal in this township. The issue of drugs, the issue of crimes as well.
Well, that's why I said to you, because the area is populated. This place, I think, 7 years ago, when Foundation for Human Rights and Democracy, I mean, owned by Aloysius Stowe, who is now the Secretary General of ANC, I mean, conducted a house-to-house, census. Yeah. And 7 years ago, the population in West Point was 80,000, according to their census report that was published in booklet or into booklet. I'm talking about in 2008, 2007, 2008. When they conducted the census, the population of West Point, between two communities, West Point was 80,000, while Claratown was 60,000. Okay. So since that institution, I mean, conducted that survey, I think the government of Liberia now, come the 24th of October, which is next month, where the government will be conducting a national population census, housing and population census in Liberia. It's from that census and through the report that will be released by Legis, we'll be able to know how many human beings, as we speak, live in the densely slum populated township of West Point. Because after that survey was conducted by 4, there have been a lot of, erosion taking place. Okay. I mean, wearing away so many shacks.
We'll come to the issue of relocation, Richard. While I was asking you some specific questions about teenage pregnancy here in this township, I was asking you about drug abuse and other crimes in this township.
These are things that are on the rampage. Okay. When you talk about the issue of criminality in this township, it's highly on the increase. And the issue of teenage pregnancy is also on the increase. Okay. Because majority of the parents, sometimes some of them have 8, 5, 10 children, and because the parents are not working, and mainly those girls' children use or take their time to engage into early prostitution. In fact, some of the area when we get there that they call Maracana, where you will see girls ranging from the ages of 9 that live in the ghetto. Wow. And from there, the issue of teenage pregnancy is one of the major issues in this township.
Okay. Well, you're watching the US-based Focus on Liberia Online Television with me, Theo Williams. We're on a tour today. We are in a densely populated township of West Point. And the man who's taking me through is Richie Asamoah Kier. Richie Kier is a son of this township. He was born here, raised here, schooled here, and Richie currently resides in this township. And so that tells you that Richie Kier is a born West Pointer, if I'll pull it that way. And so we're moving along. We're just along the coast. As you can see in the video, stay with us. Invite a friend to come on because this is interesting, folks. We are in West Point. Somebody will say Key, as they normally call West Point locally. It's called Key. Richard, let me ask you before we proceed, why is West Point called Key nowadays? I mean, is it a slang or what?
Well, that was a slang that, our older brothers that were here during, in the 80s or late 70s, normally when they go in town, coming, at a certain point in time, they never wanted to call the name West Point. Okay. So normally they would say, I'm going in a key.
Were they ashamed, sorry?
I think so.
All right.
Because that's what they were shying away from. Because during that time, the area called West Point, the kind of bad perception, notion that people possess that when you from West Point, you are a criminal. Okay. So it's because of that perception, negative perception, clouded, on this particular area, they normally will say, I'm living Key.
Having
I'm
said
going in
that,
the key.
Richie, and this brings me to my next question. Let me ask you, what are the plus and minuses of living in West Point?
Well, for me, people live in West Point. Not everybody that live in West Point live below $1.
Okay.
Because there are people here, even we have some millionaires here in West Point.
All right.
Millionaires in Liberian dollars. Yeah, because there's a business area.
Okay.
I know a lot of business people. Some are, merchant that are here like the Fulani and the Ghanaians, and some of these guys own 5 to 6. I mean, the big machine kino, and the fishing, they kill fish, and they earn more money during the fish season. Oh man, when you see some Ghanaian checking Liberian dollars, and normally they never used to carry money in the bank.
Okay.
They used to keep the money in the barrel, in their home. But when the issue of fire disaster started taking place, there were some of them they started losing. And the issue, when the war came and entered the place, I mean, the late 89, there where they got to know keeping money in the house. When those rebels came and took their money, and that they were unable even to rent or while running to take those barrels. Well, that means those fishermen normally fill those money in those barrels. So now some of them were having over 10 to 20 barrels in their home while the money was there.
Wow.
But because during the war, they couldn't move with it. So some of them were losers. It's during this time, or since the 2000, after the 2003 war, that they are, going to bank to place their money in bank.
Okay, Richard, let's talk about the success stories of some individuals who lived in West Point. I know for sure that K. Moses Nangwe was a resident of West Point.
Yeah.
And now he's prominent in society. He's currently in the U.S.
Oh, Dr. K. Moses Nangwe.
Yes, besides Moses Nangwe, Dr. Nangwe, what are some of those prominent individuals you know that live here and today they are prominent in society?
Well, you check the life of, Aloysius Toe.
Aloysius Toe.
Who is now, Councillor Aloysius Toe.
Okay.
Who is now the Secretary General of the ANC. And that is Samuel Kofi Wu.
All right.
Former, public work minister. And Dr. J, who just passed on. Yeah, Dr. J.
Okay.
Even Dubenya lived in West Point, Dr. Dubenya.
Wow.
From this video, you will be able to testify.
Okay.
So when you name in West Pointer, like as you said, Dr. K. Moses Nangwe, when he came from Saston, when he landed in Monrovia, he lived in West Point. And he was one of the Liberian writer, or he's still one of the Liberian writer, Dr. K. Moses Nangwe, a professor before at the State Run University. So these are prominent guys. So many names as you can name, like Mr. ABC, who won recent time work with the National Election Commission, and as we speak now, work with the UNDP.
All right.
So these are prominent names.
Let's talk about some prominent young people who are here currently as we speak. Just to name a few of them that you know of.
Like you see the Richie Blamu Asamu Wantikie, who is doing the talking.
West Pointe.
Yeah, West Pointe. The nickname. Today is here. And I know Mr. Aloysius, though he's not, residing here, but almost every week he's here in West Point.
Okay.
And also Mr. ABCA that I mentioned earlier.
All right.
At times, during Madam Sally administration, Honorable Samuel Kofi, who used to take a time from on Front Street to come and visit me at time in West Point. So these are the prominent people.
So you're a well-known man here.
Yeah, indeed.
Richard Kia is taking me along, folks. Stay with us as we move along this township, this densely populated township of West Point. You were just talking about the issue of sanitation, Richie, and I can see for myself. Folks, you can also see for yourselves. Well, it's a nice environment.
So where we came from.
Yeah.
And where we are going currently, the piece of land, the entire land was the river and the ocean.
Yeah.
But for the past 3 years, the ocean went far off. And then you have the Monserrado River here.
Yeah.
You see the place today, it's a land.
And it's just beautiful, Richie. I don't know how this happened, but It looks very beautiful. I mean, we are between the Atlantic Ocean and that of the Mansuato River.
Yeah.
The river is just on my right hand side, and the Atlantic is just on my left. Over there you see is the Atlantic. Let me try to zoom in for you so that you have a clear glance of what I'm talking about. Over there is the Atlantic. Yes, I'm trying to zoom in for you. Yes, you see the folks over there. Never mind, folks. Never mind. You see some young folks over there defecating, and it's just what it is. And let me turn for you. Over there, as you can see, is the Mansuato River or the Do River.
What the guys building there is a hub, one of the hub, trust hub that they want to use. These are also dealer building happening.
All right.
To sell trust. And that one of the notable business in West Point, where they recruit young boys and girls on a daily basis. You will, and sometimes as we move along, when you get on the other side of the beach, where you see young people selling narcotic substances, like you selling, Grumpy, or in a common labyrinth saying, Grumpy, or you selling candy. That's normally they do here.
All right. So as we move ahead, you see over there, that structure that is being erected is for drug selling?
Yeah, they want to sell drugs there. Because all the guys that are selling there, I know majority of them, that's what they do. They are Zoko and Zokis there.
Wow. Never mind, folks, stay with us as we cut across this densely populated township of West Point. Richard, let me say to you, have several persons viewing from all across the world, and there are too many accommodations for you for providing the history. And so, thank you very kindly. Stay with us, folks, as we move along. West Point, the breeze is flipping across the Atlantic Ocean and that of the Mansuato River. And so, it feels good. It's a very nice environment, unlike it's been faced with several challenges, ranging from sanitation and other issues. But never mind, we're here just to provide you coverage of this wonderful township. Richard Asabonti Kia is the man who's moving along with me, providing me maximum as well.
It's a social trust dealer building in our place.
Wow, and these are all young folks, Richie.
Yeah, it's what they do. It's the major business here now. The young guys do.
All right, as you can see over there, it's a structure that is being erected according to Richie. That structure will be used to sell drugs or for the sales of narcotic substances. And you see schools of young Liberians over there, building this structure. I'm seeing a lady there, yes. Let me go there to know what's going on there. Maybe I can ask some questions. Gentlemen, how you doing, man? How you say, gentlemen? Okay, man. What kind of structure is this? What are you guys building? Oh, you building sitting area, right? Yeah. You guys want to sit here? Get some cool air from the ocean. Fresh air. Okay. All right, man. Thank you, guys. Carry on. Okay, man. Thank you. But let me talk to. I'm tempted to talk to the guys here, gentlemen. Let me speak for you guys briefly. At least 1 minute, few of you guys. 1 minute, few of you guys. Let me ask you, what's the name first?
Me, call me Francis Stowe.
Francis Stowe.
Yeah.
And are you a resident of West Point, Francis? Do you live in this township?
Yeah.
How long have you been living here now?
I born here. And then 2011, 2012, almost 1 year.
Okay, you were born here. And what do you do for living here? Okay. You're a fisherman. All right. You go to fishing. All right. And how does it feel being here in the township of West Point? How does it feel living here? How do you feel living here? All right. You said us others for your communities?
Yeah, but we the community, we the citizens of the community,
When you say us spoil your community, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say us spoil your community? Okay. Okay. Let's talk to this young man. How are you? My brother, welcome.
Yeah, welcome too.
What's the name, man?
I'm Yusufu Jallo.
Yusufu Jallo. How are you today, Yusufu?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're okay. And what are you doing here?
I help him probably to be papa, be catching a cold breeze.
All right, you want to get fresh air from the Atlantic Ocean? And Yusufu, how does it feel living in West Point as a young man?
Feel comfortable.
And what do you do for living, Yusufu? Are you in school?
No, but I want to go to school with no hand to help me.
All right, you don't have means of going to school. Which grade are you in currently?
I'm in 9th grade.
9th grade. All right. Okay, man. Let me talk to one or two more persons, then we can leave you guys to continue your work. Let me talk to this brother who is busy chopping the wood here. How are you, bro? What's the name, sir?
My name is Francis David.
Francis David.
Yes.
How are you today, Francis?
Okay.
Okay, man. Francis, how does it feel living in West Point as a young man?
About 52 years ago, I know from a small town, still on the community here. But no, the child also, you know, for me, yeah, for me, no changing, no way.
Okay. What do you do for living?
I will visually see your money, you know. I live well with my money.
Okay. Okay, man. And you finally, what's the name? Welcome. Basi Wise. You're a crewman, right? Do you speak crew?
No.
Okay.
Hello, the child.
Okay, Basi. So how are you today?
I'm fine.
Okay, man. How does it feel living in the township as a young man?
I feel genius.
All right.
Okay, fine.
Okay, man. What do you do for living as well?
I volleyball.
You volleyball. All right. Okay, man. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Is that our lady over there?
Yeah.
Let me talk to that beautiful young lady. Let me talk to this beautiful young lady. Very beautiful young lady. She's shying away from our camera, but I will try to manage to speak with her. Oh, all right. Okay, man. It's okay, man. It's okay. It's okay. Well, you're still watching the US-based Focus on Liberia online television. Man, tour guide is ahead of me, Richie Asamawanti Kia, a true son of this township of West Point. He's the one who taking me along. And so just have a view of the Atlantic Ocean. It's a wonderful place to be. Just that this place is confronted with lots of challenges. All these things you see are all direct. According to Richie, they come from the Mesorado River into the Atlantic, and then the Atlantic will push them back on the shores. And so this place is a serious environment that needs to be given some attention in terms of the issue of sanitation and other major challenges confronting the people of West Point. And so stay with us as we move along. We in West Point today. You're watching the US-based Focus on Liberia online television network. Theo Williams is my name, and of course we are beaming live and direct from the densely populated township of West Point. Richie Asamawanti is the man who's taking me along today, and we're having a wonderful tour. I can say that to you for sure, folks. Stay with us. And so, Richie, as we move along, let me ask you another question. Richie Kier is the man who's taking me along. Let me ask you another question, Richie Kier. Let's talk about representation in this densely populated township of West Point. How to say in terms of the representation coming from the lawmaker, Solomon Claudia George? How is he representing the people of West Point and other surrounding communities in District 7?
Well, where we are today is electoral district number 7.
Okay.
Or electoral constituency number 7 in Mesorado County. But since 2011 and subsequently 2012, when the representative of the district Honorable Solomon Claudia George took office as a lawmaker, of which after his first term, meaning first 6 year, when he was re-elected in 2017, come next year, we mark in 12 years in office. And I think his representation is very poor. This district is comprises of 4 major communities. We have the Township of West Point, we have Makobeni, we have PHP, and we have Bra. So these are the 4 major communities. But within the 4 major communities, we have 32 different communities. 32 to 34
communities in District 7.
In the entire District 7. His representation has been very poor.
When you say poor, what do you mean?
When you check Article 29, which is Chapter 5 of the 1986 Constitution, the lawmaker should make law, should have oversight, should have representation and advocacy. Since for the past 11 years now, there has not been any proper representation from the representative of District number 7. Majority of the time, we only see him in violent, insulting, abusing, fighting people. I mean, fist fight.
Richard, are you attributing all of those to the lawmaker?
Let me say this.
Are you sure about what you're saying?
There's an open record.
Are you saying this because you have ambition to contest here, so you want to pin him black?
No, it's not only that. What I'm providing to you, in fact, as we speak, Honorable Solomon Claudia George, one of his sons is one of the notorious drug dealers and pronounced by the DEA of the Republic of Liberia. More recently, I mean, 3 weeks ago, I mean, they caught the son of Honorable Solomon George by the name of Galliema George with over 7,000, I mean, worth of United States dollar narcotic substances.
Who arrested him? Who caught him?
The DEA, through the commander.
The Drug Enforcement Agency?
Yes, of the Republic of Liberia.
When did that happen, Richard here?
I said 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
Even if you go at the West Point Magisterial Code, the records are there. When the DEA commander by the name of Special Agent Papi Esmo, I mean Swoma, arrested him, arranged him or processed him and took him at the West Point Magisterial Court, and he was sent to Saw Beach from Saturday to Tuesday, where a tentative bond was filed because the entire narcotic substance they caught with him, the street value was 7,000 plus United States dollars. If you convert that to Liberian dollars, was 1,800,000. That was the worth of the street value of the narcotic substance.
Is he still behind bars?
And I mean, he's not behind bars because a tentative bond was filed, you know, through his lawyer.
All right. Who's the lawyer?
I don't know the name of his lawyer. And that bond was filed through the head magistrate of the West Point Magisterial Court, Augusta Weir, who is the head magistrate of the West Point Magisterial Court. So as we speak, his son is out. And he threatened during the period that why the DA commander have to process his son and send him to court. So he
who threatened? Who threatened?
It was the representative who threatened the DA commander.
You mean Honorable George?
Yes. In a much that he was able to process his son, that DA commander will not even remain in power. And as we speak, they remove the guy.
Richard, all of what you are saying are all grave allegations. We need to verify them to be able to substantiate.
As a journalist, to do your forensic investigation, to ascertain after the information I'm providing to you and the public.
We have to do that, Richard. We have to do that.
I just told you go at the
So
West Point
we are holding all of what you say as an allegation, against the lawmaker, until we can do our own facts finding as an institution.
As a journalist, but the information I'm providing, you have to go to do your own background investigation.
I was just asking about representation, and you brought all of those allegations. But never mind.
We'll
check it out.
No, I said to you for the past 10 years plus, we've been having poor representation.
All right.
Because I said to you under Article 29 of the 1986 Constitution, the lawmaker is under the obligation to make law, oversight, representation, stroke advocacy.
Okay.
And in this 10 years ago, our representative of this particular district been performing poorly. The records at the legislature. You want to cover the legislature as a reporter, so you have the record. Or when you go at the legislature from the 53rd to from the 52nd.
I have not covered the legislature. I'm currently covering the executive mansion, Richie.
Okay, thank you.
Just to correct that.
So if you go at the Capitol building from the 53rd to the 54th, Honorable Solomon, your records are there. So you will know.
All right, let's move along. We'll try to authenticate all of those allegations coming from Richie Kier. I hope you're not saying this. Let me ask you again, Richie. I hope you're not saying this because you want to unseat Honorable George.
Let me say this.
The man is now your political opponent.
No, let me say this. It's not because I am an aspirant come 2023 who will replace Honorable Solomon George.
Are you optimistic of that?
And let me say this to you. I think when we were walking in the township, as we were coming along, you saw how both young and old people continue to embrace me because, since 2004, I've been serving as an activist in this particular township. And all of the records are there. So, I know come next year, it is sign that I'm going to replace Honorable Solomon George as the next representative of the district. To adequately, represent our people. Through lawmaking, oversight, representation.
Richard Kier, how optimistic are you to unseat the current lawmaker?
But let me say
Are you
this
prepared
to you.
financially?
As I speak to you,
Are you prepared morally as well?
No, listen to me. Election is not about how much money you have.
It's cost intensive.
No, let me say this. In every election, you have to spend necessary money. So I think at the appropriate time, the necessary finance will come.
What do you term as necessary finance?
Meaning, necessary finance means when you are in election, you have to spend money as the people that will be on the fee, on a daily basis, compensating them. You're not paying them because they're going to come back from place to place for you. So on a daily basis or on a monthly basis or during the period of that period of the election, you will spend necessary money.
Okay, Richard Kier.
Because it includes that have to do a pool watcher payment. You have to pay your pool watcher.
Are you prepared for that?
And I know at the appropriate time, all necessary finance will be on hand. So
right.
I don't need an abundant finance to be.
I don't want to ask you where will you get the finance from or finances from.
Well, let me say to you, I think you wasted something in 2020 where a senatorial aspirant, where the Liberian people or voters in Monserrato were able to raise money. Besides my own finance, I believe and I've been assured by my people that they will raise the necessary finance that are going to take me to the Capitol building and do the necessary representation, lawmaking, and oversight.
One more question, Richard, as we move along this township, as we tour. Let me ask you, why should West Pointers elect you as their next lawmaker, or the people of District Number 7? Why should they elect you as their next lawmaker?
Well, I think I possess the attribute of being a lawmaker.
All right.
Because a lawmaker should be an advocate or an activist.
Okay.
I just told you since 2004 up to present, I've been advocating for these people within the entire district and Liberia alive.
You think you've been the only person advocating?
And that's why during the time of the election next year, our people will do the evaluation.
Okay.
And even I want majority of my brothers and sisters to engage in the process. Because among us, our people will do the evaluation and choose the proper one.
Why are you so bitter with Honorable Solomon Claudia George?
No, I'm not bitter.
I'm told you guys don't get along easily.
No, I'm not bitter with Honorable Solomon Claudia George. He's not performing honor a constitutional duty.
Okay.
That's why.
So that is an issue.
That's my issue.
Okay.
The issue I have with him is constitutional and statutory.
Okay.
It is not personal, malice.
Okay. Okay. Let's leave it at that. Let's swear away a little bit from the political side of this tour. I just thought to put your legs on your representative Bay Richard here. Well, we're moving along, folks. We're still here at the Township of West Point, in the Township of West Point, if you will. And of course, we are on a tour, and my tour guide is Richie Asamoah here. People call you West Pointer. Why are you being referred to as West Pointer? In fact, please call your full name.
Anyway, to my viewer, my names are Richie Blamu Asamoah West Pointer. Namu Mekia.
Richard here. Well, you're still watching Focus on Liberia Online Television. Welcome. My name is Theo Williams. If you just joined us, I'd love to say welcome, and it feels good having you on. Stay with us as we move along. You are many valuable viewers across the world. I'd love to say welcome, and thanks for always following Focus on Liberia Online Television. Well, we in the business of educating, elevating, and promoting all things Liberia. This country belongs to all of us, and we as journalists or as a media institution have a responsibility, and our responsibility is to adequately inform you. And so at Focus on Liberia, we'll go places where others can afford to reach.
When you're walking now today, we need to have social shots here.
Zin shots.
I mean, I think as you look back there, you focus the camera at the back, you will see those Zin shots. All along here, we're social Zin shot, but the erosion continue to wear this place away.
So you mean people were living here?
Yes, indeed.
You have homes here?
Yes.
Wow.
Several homes. Even as you go across, you look there, just focus the camera, you will see. Several homes. Now the people rebuilding the home. Because as the sea go by, then they start building. So they are rebuilding. I think you can look at the structure. Are rebuilding.
Okay. Folks, as you can see, these are all homes, Zin shacks. And so these homes stand serious risk. I mean, any town
at all times.
I mean, the sea can just wash it away, as it has done with other homes. And so stay with us as we move along on this tour. And so welcome if you just join us. Yes, I can see the Duca Palace Hotel from here. I think that's the back of Duca Hotel. And so if you stand at the top of Duca, you will look straightly into West Point. And so you will see the entire structure. You will see the shape and size of West Point when you stand from the top of the Duca Palace Hotel.
You go at the 10th floor or 9th floor of the Ministry of Finance, that building, you look at the entire West Point. It's right before you.
And so the beach is getting jam-packed now. Canoes are coming. And so like you heard from Richard, fishing here is the way of living. The people here go...
see young people sewing net.
Yes. The guys here will...
So you see the fish mugger, meaning the women that normally collect the fish to dry it and carry it in the market. Or they sell it fresh. These are the women you see among the men.
Okay. So they've come to buy fish.
The kidney get fish. So you will go there, you will talk to them.
Okay.
If you want, you will need to talk to them.
So how often the canoes come from the ocean?
But normally, some of the canoes come in the night.
At night?
Some people come in early in the morning. And some canoes just arriving, same with king. Canoe then arriving off the person.
Okay.
You see, you look on the sea, you see some of the canoes stay there.
I will take a picture.
So you see people showing up all around. These are places where homes were, but because of the erosion, where the homes are away, they are rebuilding.
And so folks, this is West Point. We are on the beach, and we are touring this area or this side of West Point. Stay with us as we move along. My tour guide today is a prominent son of this township, Richie Asamoah Kia.
Welcome to meet me there, motel.
Is that a motel? That structure is a motel?
Yeah, this one is for Ricky.
All right.
Because it's a new structure.
Welcome to Meet Me There Motel. All right. Wow.
Beside you see the new structure.
All right.
You see the net. The king and their family, see the women. So these are the women that buy the fish. And sometimes they dry it, or sometimes they carry it fresh. I mean, at the other side market, other area. These women that you see in Sacramento, as far as red light, so many areas.
All right.
Where would it come?
All right. Just to buy fish.
Yeah.
And take it to sell. All right, let's talk to you, Mama. How are you? What is the name, ma? Huh? Nettie. All right, you here to buy some fish, right? You got some fish, right?
I just small one. I need more.
How much you bought this one?
They want to pay $1,200.
$1,200. And how are you going to sell this?
I'm going to put it on my pack.
You put it on by pound and sell it. Okay, but you think this is enough for you?
No, it ain't enough.
You need more, right?
I need more, but I need something to buy. I need to pay the children's school fees, so I got to feed this.
Okay, man. So you're surviving 2 days, right? Okay.
Yeah, oh, man. What do
All right, we are just here. Still over. Don't you go away. You're watching the US-based Focus on Liberia online television. We are on the beach. We're on a tour. Yes.
All in the kingdom. And this was the kind of work that the deputy minister was doing. Now you come on the beach, you haul canoe, and then they give you some fish.
All right. So you have to pull the canoe off the water.
When the men catch fish, they give, the whole good portion of the fish.
Wow.
Then they will divide it or they sell it to the women and they get some money. I want to call boy.
All right. How do you call it?
Boy.
Is that a crew war or what?
It's a crew one.
All right.
Crew from crew.
Okay. All right. Stay with us.
When you take some fish and they put it in the fire.
Wow.
Either they sell it or they divide it, they carry it home.
That's another way of living here in West Point. All right. Welcome. Let's walk down a bit, Richard. Let me. Welcome. If you just join us, you're watching the US-based Focus on Liberia online television. Scores of young guys here trying to pull this cannon off the sea. And according to Richard, these are some of the work they would do just to get ends meet. And so I see an elderly man here as well. He's helping to pull this canoe. Gentlemen, how you guys doing, man? Okay, man. I'm sure you got enough fish today.
Little bit.
Okay, little bit. Okay, man. Are you the owner of the canoe?
No, I'm there.
Oh, you're just helping, right?
Yeah.
All right, you're helping to pull it out and then get something in return.
Exactly.
Okay. Yes, and Richard Asamoah Care said it right. One of the guys just confirmed that to me, that they will come to help pull the canoe out of the ocean, and then they get something in return just to get ends meet. And so there you have it, folks. Young people, the young and old are here as well. Let me talk to this elderly man.
You want to see the canoe?
I see him trying to pull or help to pull this canoe. Let me talk to this elderly man. Let me talk to you, Pop. How are you? What is the name, Dad?
My name is
Wild Freeman. Are you a fisherman?
Yeah.
I see you helping to pull out a canoe. Is this a canoe, first of all?
I had canoe here.
You had a canoe?
Yes. When canoe come, we help one another to help the canoe up.
Okay, so you're helping your friend to pull the canoe?
My power canoe come too.
Okay, right. Okay. Okay. So you normally go to fishing? You normally go to fishing?
I got somebody who do it for me.
Okay, that is the means of the way you survive, right?
Yeah.
You survive through your canoe.
Yeah.
You got people fishing for you to come and bring the fish, and then report to you. You sell it and get some money. Okay, man. But how's that going with you? How long have you been doing that?
First, I was working with National Food Authority.
Okay.
I worked 25 years, they pension me.
All right.
And since 2001, the money they table, we never get 1 cent. So, man, and me, if I could go see that, where I would become.
Since 2001, you've not gotten your pension pay or your benefit?
The benefit, it would knock out Social Security United States. That time they brought the money, they carry some, they carry, but nobody to bring the money. So I look at my carry, if I go see what becomes, so I decide to ask somebody to help me back, to be able to survive like when I do it.
But have you been able to do some follow-up in terms of getting your pension benefit?
Yeah, people running behind, but we can't get no hair until.
Okay, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dad. What's the name again?
John Watt Freeman.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very kindly. Welcome.
Now they buy carrying in
Okay. All right, we're trying to just move away a little bit now and flip on the other side of this beach. Stay with us. You're watching the US base focus on Liberia online television. My name is Theo Williams, and we are live from the densely populated township of West Point with beaming live and direct, folks. Over there, Richard, I see scores of canoes. All right.
Now they came. So all the canoes you see on the show. But in the morning, early in the morning, you see all the canoes going. There the other canoes come.
All right.
Yeah.
And folks, Richard Kia is a very popular man in this township. I'm convinced that Richard is actually a true son of this township because all along, all of the areas we walked through, Richard was received and greeted very well. So I'm convinced. Well, we still moving along. You're watching the US base focus on Liberia online television. Stay with us. Today we're in District 7, folks. Monserrate County, precisely West Point. We're in a township. We just thought to come out here to tour this area and probably get you acquainted with the history of West Point. All right, never mind for the break-in transmission. It's due to poor network. But we're back, and thanks for being with us. Yes, we had a break in the network, but we've resumed. Never mind, folks, for the break-in transmission. Over there, you see scores of Liberians, fishermen, and women who have come to get some fish to sell. And so, as you can see, as we flip along, zoom in for you as well. This is West Point. Beautiful seashores. The Atlantic is rolling 24/7, and it feels good being here in West Point, District 7, Monserrate County. Well, let's try to move forward a little bit. So Richard, where we're going next is how do you call that side of the beach?
This is the entire beach.
All right.
Now we are going to the two fishermen area.
All right.
This is where the maize. This
Never mind again, folks, for the break-in transmission. It's due to the network. But however, we're back and feels good being back on your screen. And so over there you see scores of Liberians young and old, transacting. These are all Kenyans who have returned from the ocean back on the shoals, and they are selling fish to those women who will come here to purchase them and then take it to the market to sell. Some will even dry it and sell it as well. So that's the way of life here. This is how most of the people here in West Point survive. This is how they get their living, through fishing and other means. And so we just thought to come out here today to allow you have a feel of what it feels like or how it looks like in West Point. And so it's been a wonderful time. My tour guide has been Richard Kier. Richard Kier is a true son of this township. He was born here, raised here, school here, and still reside here currently. I want to talk to a few women who have come to get some fish to sell. If they consent, I will definitely do that. Just to allow you to hear them, hear their story, and just to allow you to hear how they are surviving. And so, welcome. This is the US-based Focus on Liberia Online Television Network. My name is Theo Williams, and today we are in West Point, the densely populated township of West Point. We are on the beach, and we've been touring this beach for almost 2 hours now, and we are at the other end of the beach where you find fishing activities, people transacting at the moment. And so it's been a wonderful time, folks. It's been a wonderful time walking across this beach.
The community of West Point, that the men are growing in West Point.
So this is one of the true sons of West Point. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, bro.
I just heard from Richard that you brought the current commissioner to West Point. How true is that?
Not exactly the end of the time, all by itself. For the LSA, he must was kind of close.
Okay.
Yeah, we're kind of close. You are everything doing. Come on. You slept in one place. Another one brought you.
You guys are still close like before?
Yeah, we are still close.
All right. Still have some things in common?
Yeah, we still a friend, brother, to me.
Oh, okay. Are you a fisherman as well?
I would say yes, because fishing and activity is my source of income.
Okay.
Why I'm not going to see my own canoes.
All right.
So quality.
Richard. And so, folks, this is West Point for you. This is West Point. You see all of the homes, zen shacks along the beach. And so it's been a wonderful touring the beach. We want to wrap up now. We want to wrap up now. And so thanks to all of you for being with us. To our hard working. And so never mind, folks, we went off again as a result of the network. And so we want to wrap up at this point. It's been a wonderful time touring at the beach side of West Point. Thanks. All right. Again, we like to say thanks to our hard-working CEO, Mr. Dennis Jai, who is in Atlanta, Georgia, the U.S. Thanks to Head of Operations, Anthony Sie. And thanks to my tour guide, Richard Kier, who is a permanent resident of this township. Richard has been taking me along for almost 2 hours now. And so we want to wrap it up at this point. We want to wrap it up. And so, Richard, we'll have to go quickly. Your closing comments.
Well, think this video will continue. I mean, in the next week of coming year, to continue from here to the end or to Duco. So we can have a full coverage of the entire township and give you the balanced information concerning the historicity and how, I mean, the issue of criminality, the proliferation of ghettos in this place. And that's why you saw the group of young men. That another new ghetto site they are building. So the issue of ghetto in this place, that's the number thing that it, these are some of the homes. Just put the camera on that side. What it does is what some of this thing of the public, that's the
Okay, Richard, it's been a wonderful time. Let me thank you for, on behalf of the management staff of the US-based Focus on Liberia Online Television Network. It's been a wonderful time. Thank you ever so much for taking up your time today to carry us through this township.
Thank you.
All right, folks, thanks again to Head of Operations, Anthony C.A., who is in Atlanta, Georgia. Sorry, not Atlanta, Georgia. He's in Minnesota, the U.S. Thanks to our hardworking CEO, Dennis Jah, who is in Atlanta, Georgia, the U.S. And thanks to all members of the Focus on Liberia team. For and on behalf of the team, my name is Theo Williams, bidding you farewell from the densely populated township of West Point in Montserrat County, District 7. We'll talk to you some other time. I'm sure it's going to be from another venue. Thank you ever so much. Just have a clear view of West Point, this part of West Point, as we wind down shortly. Let me just drill you through how to stand on top of one of the canoes just to get the network and just to be able to flip it through some parts of this township. And so over there you see scores of young people on the beach. They're just from sea, and you have scores of market women there as well, purchasing fish to take it to the markets to sell as a means of living as well. So you've heard all from Richard here regarding the historicity of this township and other issues you need to know. Thanks again, it's been a wonderful time. Over there is the famous Ducal Palace Hotel. Let me try to zoom in for you. Yes, over there is the famous Ducal Palace Hotel. And so it's been a wonderful time having you on this tour with us. Enjoy the rest of the day. Keep following us for accurate, balanced, and credible news and information. You can rely on us. Go to bear with us for all the best in terms of all of the news you need to know. Until I talk to you again from another location, thanks to all of you who've been viewing us. Thanks for following us. Keep following us as well. Until then, my name is Theo Williams, bidding you farewell from District 7, West Point.